Generic greetings and welcome back to Prison Architect. In the previous episode, not good things in the laundry, and I'm not talking about overstarching a shirt, I'm talking about the slight incident that happened around about this area. Sadly, we now have one death in the prison, so we are accountable for that. We don't really have any way of preventing snitches getting taken out. Obviously, we do have patrols, which apparently is exhausted. That could account for some of that. We have patrols, we have dogs, we don't yet have tasers, which would probably help things, but we do have people assigned in things like the laundry where the event happened. We've got people going around the shower, we've got dogs in the canteen, so we are taking preventative measures, but the final step to that would be to either completely lock off people so they don't leave their cells. It looks like Gary's had enough of coding there, overdosed. Yes, either don't allow them to leave their cells, which would mean permanent punishments, which sadly we don't have because we don't have legal unlocked. By the way, I am going to probably get body armor and tasers research there, even though we can't hand out tasers yet because we don't have an area so we can teach people. So anyway, yeah, I digress. So yeah, we either lock them in their cells permanently, which doesn't seem A, ethical, B, a decent solution, or we have them in a protective custody area, which to be fair also requires them locking in there, so I don't know. We don't really have a decent solution to this issue, but for the time being, we're going to have to carry on as normal. We are now receiving several more prisoners. As you can see, the bus is coming in there, and we need to get this workshop up and running. So let's just go to materials, building brick. I'm going to place a couple of things on the far side there. We're then going to run in some electrical cable. Now, this will run straight across to there. That'll probably do us, and obviously we're going to have to do probably the same thing down the bottom as well, like that, and we'll just run it all in like so, then we know that all that is connected. Now we need to have this on a different grid because this grid will not be able to take the amount of stuff we're going to have in there. So let's just see how we get on with that one. Before I do anything else, however, I want to go over to intelligence and informants, and we don't actually have any known traits on any of these low-risk prisoners. That's not good. Right, okay. One thing I do want to do is check the contraband and just see where it's coming from. It looks like it's smuggled in from there. That one was smuggled. We got brought into the prison and... oh, that's never a good thing. And we have a fire. So the warden's calling us. A power surge has caused our generator to overload and catch fire. Yes, it has. That is... well... you don't want that. Right, I'm going to go over to emergencies and bring in a couple of fire engines. I am going to bring in both, and then we will select all of those and say, please run over there and get this sorted because currently everything is off. I'm going to probably go for a bang up and tell all of the prisoners to get back to their cells immediately. We want them inside their cells, because this is the perfect opportunity for them to try and run out. In fact, some are heading in a different area. Oh, because they're drunk? They're wondering... Is that Tom Moon? Are they bumbling around because they're drunk? It makes sense. But most are heading towards where they should be. Okay, and yes, we are managing to put out the fire now, which is good. But that is the power plant. Of all of the things that could have gone, and just when we were talking about that sort of thing as well. Anyway, that's almost done. Come on, almost finished. Looks like we've got corners there to do. Probably sneak these up a bit. Taking a bit of time to do that. I mean, ironically, it's right next to the water as well, so the fire wouldn't spread very far. Although in this game the water probably burns or something. So that'll be done there, that'll be done there. Get the fire done there, and come on, we've only got that little bit to do. Also frame rate loss for some reason. And we're about right. Okay, thank you very much, firefighters. You can now head back, and I will have to deal with this mess by placing all of the walls, and hopefully Repairs in progress, so that's fine. So we'll just max speed this out, let them crack on, let the work peoples crack on. However, they are not doing that as a priority, so I will prioritise all of that, although I don't know if repairing is a... Can that be prioritised? I don't know. I've set it as to priority. They're going to place all of the walls. And, oh yes, they are repairing that as a priority. Looks like none of the capacitors have been broken either. I am, however, going to have to connect this back up, like so. There we are. And while I'm on here, I'm going to run this a different way. I'm going to run it like that, then dismantle those utilities. Because that's where we're going to have the other connection, you see. So, we now have power. We'll turn off bang up, and now the prisoners can go about their daily business. I will, I believe, have to reset that deployment. I don't have to reset that deployment. That's a strange one. Because the wall broke, it then went to the outside, and that should have done that. I don't know why that did that. Strange. Not gonna really complain about it. Just making a comment rather than a complaint. More of an observation. So, that's all the utilities changed there. So if we check our utilities, that's now rerouted. So it means that when we do put this one in, it's not going to connect to the grid immediately and blow both of the things up. Because that would not be good. Right, so we want to have a workshop. So a workshop will go in here. Although I have already made a mistake by placing that straight away, because now things can be stolen from it. So let us get some metal detectors in before we do anything else. They should be powered up, at least one of them is powered up. We will fix that by placing 4 power switches apparently, which only cost 10, so that's good. We'll place the connections like so. There we are. Obviously, it's going to take quite a while for the works to get in and out because they don't have any automatic door openers. But there we are. So danger levels are going up, and you would expect that. We've got 5 prisoners shackled in their cells or in solitary. That's interesting. I don't know why. We are still on all the max stuff. Oh, they've probably been shackled because we found stuff when they were brought in. Yeah, that's okay. In terms of the last 7 days, by the way, I did notice that we have some ropes. We had ropes previously, but now we've got several ropes. Looks like that was... Oh, no, it wasn't smuggled in. It was taken around. There we go. Anyway, so we're still doing this inmate nutritional research, which is currently on 77%, so we need to serve 1 more meal and then we're sorted there. I'm going to wait until it is night, and then I will probably change the grid over. So we'll go to utilities here, we'll go to power station, we'll place that in there, and we want to run a couple of capacitors down the side there. There we are. I mean, we're still receiving $2,500 a tick, so we're still doing well on that one. And that's still good. I don't know if you saw there, but that stack of ingredients did have, or possibly has something in it, because it bleeped when it went through the metal detector. And why are all these just standing around there? Do we just not have the... Yeah, we just don't have the amount of people that we need. Okay, let's change the deployment then. So guards, take them off there, take them off there, take them off there, and there we are. We'll let them crack on. I could use the scheduler. But in my experience, it's always been a bit iffy. So, yeah, might leave that for now. Guard patrols. Take them off the patrol there. They're fine, that's fine. Right. And some more guards. And that should get all of the prisoners into the area where they should be. Okay. So this is where we're going to change the grid. What is the play? Well, what I probably need to do is disconnect that. And then connect... Disconnect that. Connect that up to there. Run this down into there. Yep, that's the play. So we'll disconnect that utility there, and that will be removed. So that's a lot of the prison now powered off, as you can see. But that's the bit we want connected up this way now. Like that. And dismantle those two. And then connect up this way. I'm going to wait for them to do this first though, and then disconnect the other one. Because there's been a couple of times when I've ordered them to do something like that, and they went, yep, no bother, on my way, and then it goes horribly wrong. There we go, there's that powered off. We'll probably take it in this way just for safekeeping. I want to make sure we got a lot of mitigation for unexpected events of things getting placed. So there we are. Just going to force all these open just so the workers can get in there. I'm going to place this, and that should be all of that connected up. The main thing is that the kitchen still works. So that's good. The kitchen still functions. And we're going to do this. We've got one normal prisoner arriving. So we're pretty much out of capacity now. Well, we're sort of hovering around our capacity. There's our power station. Because it's powering a lot of the prison, it's not entirely happy. It's very close to maxed out. So I'll have to place some more capacitors, but in the meantime, what I'm going to do is go over to our regime. We're going to change the eat times. That'll be lock up. I'll change. Probably have that. And I want to change it so it is now low quantity and low variety, not low quantity and no variety. That's important. It's low quantity, low variety meals, singular. So they're gonna get their meal now because it's just on that mark. So there's no point in doing it now because otherwise they'll still eat it and such. And might as well just keep it as is. But once they finish this eat time here, we're gonna change that to free time, like so, and then we now are starting to do this other one. So, that's good. We're going to go over to utility once more, over to capacitor, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should be enough to crack on with that one. This doesn't have any saws or presses or anything like that, but I think we will have a guard patrol in the centre, like so. So we have sight on that one. Should probably add it in there as well. I removed them from those just because of the time of day it was. I might have another play with the scheduler, but we'll see. Let's say it says freedom. There's a very big freedom need, I assume? Well, yes, I guess there's always that need. So, in terms of tables, can we just go straight across? If my calculations are correct, we can. And they were, by the look of it. There we go. So there's all your tables either side. We also need saws and we need presses. Now, here's the thing. If we just have saws, we could then just use this, which is, well, was originally going to be our forestry. It still is going to be forestry. I just haven't gotten around to doing anything with it yet. But I think for the time being, we'll probably have the standard workshop here. So saws and presses, saws and presses, saws and presses. Saws, top and bottom, and then in the middle, the presses. So we'll have less presses than saws because when we have forestry, we do want to make sure we can do all the log stuff. Still think it would be nice to be able to change it from a plate workshop to a logging shop or whatever you would call it. Would be nice to have that option, but sadly we don't, so we can't, and now it's now. So there we go. We're going to place in a saw and a press, and then we can also now go over to our programs, and we can go for a safety induction. Workshop safety induction. And it means that we'll have to reset this in a second because it says no equipment. But once it's in, we'll reset that. And reschedule all once we finish the day. No, these are still getting done. I don't want to reset it during the middle. It's work/free time. I'll wait until this is finished. Because if you reset it now when this program's underway, it means you have like loss for that one. Need someone assigned in the parole. It's important that you have that. Because that's where there's often violence if they don't get granted parole, essentially. So you can see our daily cash flow has gone up, and that's simply because we're not serving as many meals, nor with a great variety. So that's why that's happened. So reschedule all programs. You can see we do have a couple of programs, a couple of things there, but it's only a couple because, well, naturally, we only have 2 pieces of equipment, but at least we've got that sorted. Excellent. So we now have the workshop not done, certainly not, but it exists. That's the main thing. Obviously, we've got more guards and things like that, but money's still increasing, cash flow's going up, and we will have people working in there, hopefully in the next couple of days. We are going to receive another minimum security prisoner. Obviously, a lot of these minimum security prisoners are in for crimes that are like white collar or something. So, for example, Richard Morgan, it is 5 years for insider trading. We've got another one who is 13 years for car theft. Not really white collar. Multiple crimes including dangerous driving and dangerous driving. Yeah. 9 years for bribery. But not ones like, I mean, just for example, assaulting an officer and perjury. Yeah. Driving the influence, death by dangerous driving. Yeah. He's called Baby as well. Like Baby Driver, I guess. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. I think we'll do a full shakedown in the next episode, but that's not bad. Would like to have some more money to be able to finish the workshop, but sadly that is not the case, so we will have to put up and shut up. But for the time being, we're doing okay. Next episode, we'll probably also get that inmate nutritional research done. Although, it says for 2 days. Technically, yesterday, because it's just rolled over from 12, we did serve a high variety and high quantity meal in the morning, which is why that only counted from probably the night time, that first meal. So there we go. Either way, hope you have enjoyed the video and the series thus far. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Comments in the comments and generic partings.